You don't need a fancier planner. And you certainly don't need a new color-coded calendar template either. You need to choose wisely. I know. That sounds like one of those productivity guru mic drops, right? But sincerely, our stress isn't necessarily coming from a lack of tools. It's coming from a lack of clarity and a refusal to choose what actually matters. You're not overwhelmed because you don't have a good system at this point. You're overwhelmed because you're trying to live in 5 different lanes at once and feeling surprised when you feel like you're getting nowhere. We've been trained to believe we need to do more to feel better. But the reality? We need to do less, but better. Now, let me introduce you to the rule of less, but better. This is the idea that fewer priorities create more progress. And it's the antidote to modern work chaos. Let's talk science for a sec, because I love a bit of good science. Barry Schwartz, in his book, The Paradox of Choice, explains that when we have too many options, it doesn't actually make us any happier. It paralyzes us. Too many choices lead to anxiety, decision regret, and feeling less satisfied with whatever we do choose. Sound familiar? So no, it's not just you. It's a real psychological phenomenon. And it applies to your work, your calendar, your inbox, and your life at home. Now, Baumeister's research on decision fatigue got a lot of press back in the day. The idea was that we only have so much decision-making power in a day and that it depletes over time, kind of like an ego battery that gets depleted by noon. But I think there's a more helpful frame. It doesn't have anything to do with the time of day either. It's not about a fragile little ego muscle that gives out on us. It's about energy. You're not lazy. Your energy is depleted. And by the way, that can happen anytime during the day. It's the same idea behind the phenomenon of getting hangry. You're hungry. You need food, energy. And if you don't get it, you get angry. So do I. Our body needs energy. When we spent all day making decisions and having conversations and using our mind and our body to move things forward, it makes sense that we need to restore our energy. And again, that can happen anytime during the day. Your brain's tired in its own way. And if you really want to deplete your energy faster than your phone on 2%, fill your life with things you don't want to do and things that someone else could do 80% as good as you could do it. This is the perfect recipe for feeling tired, overwhelmed, and burned out. Your brain doesn't want to decide between the 27 other things on your to-do list either. It wants clarity, and it loves direction as much as it loves spaciousness. So let's get you there. Here's your practice, the rule of less but better. Each morning, or each week, look at your list and choose. What are the 3 most important things you're doing? What can you let go of, pause, or just say no to? And what one thing will you do that will move the needle? Still not sold? Well, let me give you a better example than Zuckerberg's gray hoodie. Think of a pilot. When I was learning to fly planes, I learned all about the checklists. Before every flight, you go through a checklist. No guesswork, no innovation, just simple, clear steps. Why? Because in high-stakes environments, clarity saves lives. Same with elite chefs. They set up a mise en place, everything in its place. They don't get creative with where the garlic goes each time. They reduce choices and looking around for things, because it's a waste of time, so they can channel their actual focus. And that's exactly what Atul Gawande wrote about in the Checklist Manifesto. Checklists reduce complexity and mistakes too. They reduce mental load. Think about this for a second. Identifying your top 3 daily priorities, that's your real-time checklist. Our rituals work the same way. Morning walks, journaling, closing the day with reflection. These aren't luxuries. They're systems that reduce mental friction and preserve and cultivate positive energy. But only if we actually do them. That's what the rule of less but better gives you. More energy, more clarity, more confidence. It's your checklist. Not because you've done everything, but because you've done what matters most. And here's the thing. Keeping that precision, choosing what truly matters and sticking to it, I want to tell you, it requires a ruthless commitment. Because the modern world, it's noisy. It can be relentless. And if you believe that voice that says, I just need to get through this next month and then everything will finally slow down, don't believe it. Because it won't magically slow down. Why would it? Has it ever before? No. And that noisy world will happily choose blindly for you if you don't choose for yourself. As a leader, this is where clarity meets compassion. You aren't just protecting your own time and energy. You're modeling the boundaries and priorities that give your team permission to do the same. Burned out leaders unintentionally create burned out teams. And you're probably giving the people you live with permission too. If you can't say no, nothing else in your leadership strategy will matter. Your time, your values, your goals, they all leak out the side. So if you're feeling scattered, overwhelmed, behind, or low-key spiraling, try the rule of less but better. You don't need a new system. You need fewer priorities. And you need to stick to them. Drop me a line in the comments about something that you let go of that made all the difference in your leadership and in your life. I would love to hear about it. And of course, hit subscribe to get more great stuff on how to thrive in the 9 to 5 and beyond. Happy thriving!